Hey, church, man, this is a very difficult time to be in. At one point, we're facing an enemy disease that's that's sweeping across the world, where we've been quarantined, and then on the other side, we're also facing a nation that is raging right now because of injustice. And my thing is, where does our help come from? And like, our help, yes, comes from God. And so as I've been looking through the internet, my brother Jordan Rice kind of posted a picture yesterday, asking people all over the internet, and he said, black people, in one word, how are you feeling right now? And this is what a lot said: hated, tired, exhausted, checked out, I'm not okay, and tired, numb, hopeless, defensive and tired, drained, numb, anxious, and all these. A lot of people were saying exhausted, tired, way too many emotions at once. And so as I was reading this, and then some people were saying rage, I'm wrecked right now. I am mad right now. I am weary. And so this really then I began to ask myself, is there any hope for us in Scripture? Is there any hope for us in Scripture? And the past couple of years, as I've been studying, I fell in love with the book of Psalms. And one of the African church fathers, Saint Athanasius, says this. He says that the book of Psalms, in his letter to Marcellinus, we know that Athanasius gets to get exiled at least 5 times, and he faces hostility, and he had all types of emotions going on. And as I'm studying his work, he says this in his letter to Marcellinus. It says that the book of Psalms contains even the emotions of each soul, every emotion. And he says that he who recites the Psalms is uttering the rest as his own words, and each sings them as if written concerning him. And he accepts them and recites them not as if there's another speaking, but he says but he handles them as if he is the one who's speaking himself, and the things spoken are such that he lifts them up to God as himself acting and speaking them from himself. And so this is what the book of Psalms then really begins to do. The book of Psalms, he says this, Athanasius says this: these words become like a mirror to the person singing them. And let me remind you of a couple of other church fathers. Basil of Caesarea says that it is the common treasury of all good precepts, the voice of the church, the compendium of all theology. Saint Ambrose, the bishop of Milan, he says that the law instructs, history informs, prophecy predicts, correction censures, and morals exhort. But he says in the book of Psalms, you find the fruit of all these, as well as the remedy for salvation of the soul. He says this: the Psalter deserves to be called the praise of God, the glory of man, and the voice of the church, the most beneficial confession of faith. And so, what am I really wanting to call us to? In the book of Psalms, you will find that these were songs that were originally, they were really just like, they were originally meant to be done in community, where the community would voice out what they were feeling and all that. The book of Psalms, according to the church fathers, is the voice of the church. So what I want to encourage us to do is, I want to encourage us and challenge you, let us begin to open up the book of Psalms, and let us actually find one of the laments, find one of those psalms that talk about justice, and let's begin I know at this moment there's a lot of emotions raging. People are drained, disappointed, tired, angry, they're torn, they feel tired, hurt, numb, exhausted, and all these things, mentally drained and all that. This is actually what John Calvin is going to say. He's going to say the Psalms are the anatomy of the soul, expressing everything that we go through. Could we take this as a moment where we take and we begin to fill up the internet with just read a psalm of lament, read a psalm that longs for justice, read and let's just read a psalm and record them and let's fill them up so that we can actually begin to shepherd our generation, to show them also that there is a way by which the Bible does express how you feel, so you can be able to go through the Bible and be able to find the book of Psalms as one of the ways you can be able to voice your frustrations, you can voice your anger and all those things. Let's fill up the internet with those. Let me challenge you to do that. Thank you so much.